السلام عليكم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد سيد الأولين والآخرين. مدد يا رسول الله، مدد يا سادة أصحاب رسول الله، مدد يا باشا دستور ولا شاء الله فازد حسن شاء محمد الرحمن مدد. طريقتنا الصحبة والخير في الجمعية. Peygamber Efendimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor, hastalık olmadan tedavi olur. Yani hastalık olunca da tedavisi var ama
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, seek a treatment, get treatment before you get sick. Of course, there's treatment when one is sick, but there's also treatment one should get before one gets sick.
mühim şey hasta insan yediğine içtiğine nasıl yaşadığını.
What is meant by this is to get treatment before one gets sick means to be careful about what eats, about what one drinks, about how one lives.
Baksın ki tedavi olsun.
Because it is through paying attention to how we live that we undergo a treatment before actually getting sick.
Bir de iki yol var tedavinin.
And according to our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, there are two prophetic ways of treating.
O yolun birisini artık nadir olarak galiba yapan var. Hacam o ülkeyi hacamat yapmak, bir de dağlamak.
And there are two types of treatment, according to our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that have been narrated. One is cupping, what is hijama, and the other is cauterization.
Yani bu bir şey kızdırıp demiri falan, ondan vücudun bazı yerlerine dağlayınca.
So one treatment is cupping. The other treatment that has been narrated and a little bit through our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, is using a hot instrument like hot iron and to treat tissues with that hot instrument on the body.
Hasta, bazı hasta yani o işin erbabı olması lazım.
Of course, to do such things, one needs to be an expert and one needs to know exactly how to perform these therapies.
Hacamat işini herkes yapabilir.
Cupping is something that is performed by many.
Yapıyor da onun problemi yok. Ötekisi maalesef artık fazla gözükmüyor. Yani çok böyle ameliyatlık hastalar, ümürsüz hastalar için o da fayda vardı, çok faydası vardı.
And cupping, that is a common practice that is performed by many. The other practice or treatment, cauterization, to use hot instrument, which may be applied to circumstances where one may need to undergo a surgery, is not practiced that often.
Ama artık şimdi ben bilip de çok çıkabilir.
However, one needs to be careful because there may in fact be many who claim to know how to do such things.
Herkesi yakar eder falan, ondan fazla gerekmez şimdi.
And they in fact, instead of making the proper treatment using a hot instrument like hot iron in order to treat wounds, they may actually in fact burn you because they don't know what they are doing. So one needs to be careful about cauterization, and one should not necessarily perform that thing these days.
Mühim olan hacamat hem sünnettir hem şifadır.
However, cupping, for example, that is something that is practiced more commonly, and it is both. It is a sunnah by our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and it is a source of curing.
Bu vakti da şimdi bu nar ağacı çiçek açınca hacamat vakti girmiş oluyor. En faydalı vakit odur.
And the best time is for starting the treatment for cupping. There's a certain time, a certain season when one should do that. It's when the plants of the pomegranate start blooming, when the plants start blooming.
Başka vakitlerde Tabii hacıma tapılır ihtiyacı olunca ama
Of course, one, if necessary, may also perform cupping. Other times,
o e, faydası olan bu vakitler.
but the best time to perform cupping is around now,
Nar çiçeği açtı vakit.
when the plants of the pomegranate start blooming.
E, Allah'ın izniyle büyük bir faydası var. En büyük faydası da bu tansiyon
There is great benefit in performing cupping, and one of the advantages is concerning blood pressure.
meselesinde şey yapıyor. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem o vakitten söylemiş. İnsanlar bilmezdi.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, mentioned and described blood pressure when people back then did not know about that condition.
Kan hücum etmesi diyor.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, speaks of the state of blood attacking, describing with this blood pressure.
Kanın hücum etmesi tansiyon demektir. Ona çok fayda.
And to perform cupping, there is great benefit in order to treat irregularities with blood pressure.
Çok şeylere de faydalı.
And there's also great benefit for many other conditions.
Ama onu da şimdi içi artık ticarete dökmüş insanlar.
However, again, one needs to be careful when performing cupping, because there are many who have made a big business out of cupping.
Para kazanayım diye her gün bile neredeyse hacama yapmak isteyen
There are many who perform cupping, in fact, every day in order to make money.
insanlara tavsiye eden bazı kişiler var.
And there are some people who advise people that it doesn't matter when they perform cupping. They tell them they can perform cupping any day, and they say such things in order to make business.
O kan kolay değil yapması onun için.
But there are certain rules to be observed, and to perform cupping is not that easy.
Onun vakti var,
There's a certain time that is recommended for cupping.
zamanı var. Her gün, her ay alınmaz.
Cupping is not something that can be performed any day. It is not something that can be performed any month.
Senede bir defa alması yeter aslında.
It is enough, in fact, to perform cupping only once a year.
Ama ihtiyaç olup da şey olunca 2 defa olur.
But if there is a need, one may perform cupping twice.
İlkbaharda alırsın, ikinci alacaksan sonbaharda.
You may perform cupping during springtime and during autumn time.
Diyor git bir de pompayla, o pompada olmaz. Pompa normal kanı çekiyor.
And also, one needs to be careful about the devices that are used for cupping. Now they have come up using pumps in order to perform cupping, but pumps is not to use pumps. Vacuum pumps is not the right way to perform cupping, because using vacuum pumps leads to the blood being sucked out.
Isıtma bardakla olunca o kirli kanı almış oluyor.
However, the right way to perform cupping is using hot glass cups, because using those hot glass cups in that natural way, the dirty particles or the dirty part of the blood is being extracted, unlike when using pumps where simply the entire blood is being sucked out.
Ona da dikkat etmek lazım.
So one needs to be careful about when one performs cupping and which devices, and to perform cupping, one should use hot glass cups.
Bunlarına da dikkat etmek lazım. En mühim şey de hijyen, temizlik. O çok mühimdir.
And most importantly, when performing cupping, one must pay attention to hygiene, and one must be certain that things are in a clean way.
Kan Allah muhafaza etsin. Şifa yerine hastalık gelirse.
Because when it's about blood, one needs to be very careful, because diseases may easily transmitted through blood, and therefore one needs to be careful that while one seeks cure and treatment through cupping, one should not make this a means to actually get sick because one did not pay attention to hygiene.
İşin erbabı olmayan, bilmeyen insanlar olunca öyle olur. Şimdi de
And therefore, one needs to be very careful about who you go to when you perform cupping. It should be an expert, people who know what they're doing, in order not to get sick.
kolayını bulmuşlar. Pompayı vuruyor, alıyor, çekiyor kanı, şey yapıyor. O dediğimiz gibi normal kanı almış oluyor.
And again, to perform cupping is not to be performed through pumps, because using pumps will suck out the blood, and that is not how cupping is meant to be performed.
Bir faydası olmuyor.
And then there's no benefit in what they do.
Bilakis vücudu zayıflatabilir. Yani
And to suck out blood also leads to, in fact, then harm the body. It weakens the body because blood is extracted.
Allah'ın hikmeti her şeye bir usul vermiş.
And it is Allah Almighty's wisdom that He Almighty Allah defined a certain method of how things need to be done.
Günü vermiş, saatini vermiş.
There is a certain day when things need to be performed. There is a certain hour when things need to be performed.
Ne zaman ne edeceksin, ne yapacaksın onu bilip de
And one needs to know exactly about the timings and the way how to do things.
onu bilen insanla yaptırmak lazım.
And therefore, if you do such things, you must go to an expert who knows exactly about how the procedure is and what the best timing for doing cupping is.
Allah şifa versin.
May Allah Almighty grant us health.
Hem kabul etsin sünnet olarak.
And may Allah Almighty accept the performance of cupping as us having performed the sunnah.
Yapmış oluyor. İhtiyacı olan insanlar.
And may it be both the acceptance as having practiced the sunnah, and may it be the source for curement.
Hem şifa oluyor. Onun için bu hem de vakti da işte şimdi güzel vakittir.
And this is an important matter to consider. Now is a good season to perform cupping.
Arabi ayın 15'inden sonra yapılması daha faydalıdır.
It is recommended according to the lunar calendar, to perform it after the 15th day.
Ama gene de ihtiyaç olunca olabiliyor ay başlarında şey.
But if there are certain conditions, or if there is a certain requirement or need, cupping may also be performed at the beginning of the month.
Olur ama gün olarak da çarşamba, cumartesi onların hariç.
But when it comes to the days when cupping should be performed or when it should not be performed, then you need to know that it should not be performed on Wednesdays and it should not be performed on Saturdays.
Hepsi her gün yapılabilir.
And apart from those days, cupping may be performed any other day.
Allah razı olsun.
May Allah Almighty be pleased.
Şifa olsun inşallah.
And may it be the source for health and cure.
Amin. Allah tevfik. El Fatiha.